The sun rose over Los Angeles with deceptive calm, painting the Forrester mansion and Spencer estates in golden light, but in true bold and the beautiful fashion, tranquility was only an illusion. Monday, August 18th, crackled with the tension of betrayals, schemes, and a celebration set to unravel into chaos. While the Forrester and Spencer families prepared for the long-anticipated bash, Luna Caden was perfecting a trick that would blindside Lee Finnegan, while Spencer was on the cusp of making a fateful mistake, and the foundations of trust were about to shatter. Luna's calculated play. Luna, whose recent entanglements left her caught between loyalty to her family and her own independence, arrived at Forrester Creations early. She looked polished, confident, and deliberate, masking the storm raging inside. Lee, stern as ever, had been relentless in her crusade to save Luna from what she viewed as reckless mistakes. Whether it was questioning Luna's work at Forrester, meddling in her personal life, or manipulating conversations with Finn, Lee never missed an opportunity to remind her niece that she was walking on dangerous ground. But Luna wasn't about to play the submissive child any longer. Today, she had a plan, a carefully crafted trick designed not just to outmaneuver Lee but to humiliate her in the one arena she prided herself on most, control. When Lee marched into the design studio, she found Luna already waiting, sketchbook open, draping fabrics with a calm efficiency that immediately annoyed her. "Lee, coolly, you're early. Trying to impress the Forresters with punctuality won't erase your mistakes." Luna, smiling sweetly, "Actually, Aunt Lee, I came to show you something. A new design. It's inspired by family." Luna unveiled a sleek gown with sharp angles, regal colors, and undertones of rebellion woven into every stitch. Lee, unaware of the symbolism, frowned but leaned closer. "Luna, softly, it's for tonight's bash. Eric wanted something bold, something unforgettable." What Lee didn't know was that Luna had already tipped off Hope and Ridge that the dress was hers, not Lee's. By the time Lee took credit, Luna would expose her deception, flipping the script on her aunt's endless criticisms. Lee's jaw tightened. For a moment, she almost praised the design, but suspicion lingered. Still, she couldn't resist the lure of recognition. That weakness was exactly what Luna had counted on. Will Spencer, doomed from the start. Meanwhile, across town, Will Spencer was drowning in a dangerous cocktail of expectations and temptation. Bill had been parading him around as the future of the Spencer dynasty, but Will felt more like a pawn than a son. The bash was supposed to be his night, his first step into the spotlight as an adult in the ruthless Spencer world. But Will's nerves were frayed. The more he tried to live up to Bill's vision, the more he craved escape. And escape came in the worst possible form. At Il Giardino, Will crossed paths with a shadowy figure connected to the very underworld dealings Bill had spent years trying to bury. A glass too many loosened his resolve, and soon he was entertaining a proposition: fast money, independence, and a taste of rebellion. But as Monday unfolded, it became clear, Will was being set up. His drink had been spiked, his every move monitored, and the freedom he thought he was buying was a trap. When he stumbled into the bash later that evening, his actions would ignite scandal, shame, and a sense of doom that no Spencer fortune could undo. The bash begins. The Forrester estate glittered like a palace as guests streamed in. Crystal chandeliers reflected champagne bubbles, models draped in couture glided across the floor, and the mingling hum of conversation carried both charm and menace. Ridge and Brooke arrived together, exchanging thinly veiled jabs about loyalty and family legacies. Steffi, flawless in emerald silk, kept a protective eye on Finn, whose simmering tensions with Lee threatened to spill over. Meanwhile, Hope appeared radiant yet distracted, her eyes darting toward Luna as though sensing tonight would end with fireworks. The Forresters were ready to celebrate legacy. The Spencers were ready to flaunt power. But beneath the glamour, everyone was hiding something. Luna's trick unfolds. As the evening reached its peak, Ridge took the microphone to thank the family and guests. He gestured to Lee, praising her for mentorship and her supposed contributions to the latest Forrester line. Lee, smug and poised, accepted the spotlight, claiming credit for the striking gown Luna had designed. Applause rang out, cameras flashed, then Luna struck. With deliberate timing, she stepped forward, her voice cutting through the celebration. Luna, calm but sharp. "Actually, Ridge, there's been a mistake. That gown isn't Lee's creation. It's mine. Every sketch, every stitch, it's my work. And my aunt knew it." Gasps echoed through the crowd. Lee's face drained of color as whispers spread like wildfire. Finn's eyes widened in disbelief. Steffi's lips curled into a smirk, enjoying Lee's rare moment of public humiliation. Lee stammered, attempting to recover, but Luna didn't stop. Luna firmly, for years, you've tried to silence me, diminish me, control me. Not tonight. Tonight, the Forresters know exactly who I am. The bold declaration ignited cheers from Hope and even a grudging nod from Ridge. For the first time, Luna had outmaneuvered Lee in her own game, leaving her aunt cornered and humiliated in front of the entire elite circle. Will's catastrophic arrival. Just as the room buzzed with Luna's revelation, the doors flew open. Will Spencer stumbled inside, his shirt untucked, his tie loose, his eyes glazed. Conversations screeched to a halt as all heads turned. Bill rushed forward, horrified. Bill, furious whisper, "What the hell happened to you, son?" But Will, intoxicated and manipulated, didn't care. He slurred accusations about control, money, and the curse of being a Spencer. Then, in a shocking twist, he pulled out a flash drive, evidence of financial secrets tied to Bill's past deals, handed to him by the shady figure earlier that day. Will loudly, "You want me to be the future? Then let's tell everyone what the Spencers are really built on." The crowd erupted. Reporters lunged forward. Brooke gasped. Ridge looked both disgusted and entertained. Bill's empire, his carefully crafted image, was seconds away from collapse, all because his own son had been lured into a scheme designed to destroy him. The bash explodes. Within minutes, chaos consumed the bash. Security scrambled to contain the press. Liam tried to wrestle the flash drive from Will's grip, while Wyatt attempted damage control with the guests. Meanwhile, Luna's triumph over Lee was almost overshadowed, yet her fierce independence gleamed all the brighter in the storm. Steffi whispered to Finn that Lee had finally been exposed for the controlling manipulator she was, while Finn stared at Luna with a new kind of respect. Bill, cornered and desperate, dragged Will into a private corner, his voice trembling with both rage and fear. Bill, low growl, "You've doomed yourself, son. And maybe all of us." But Will only smirked through the haze, convinced that exposing the truth was his way of breaking free. He didn't realize that the people who fed him that evidence had no intention of letting him walk away alive. Lee's breaking point. Elsewhere, Lee retreated to a quiet corner, her humiliation cutting deeper than she could have imagined. For years she had controlled every aspect of Finn's life, and now Luna had ripped that control away in one night. Her eyes burned with fury as she whispered to herself. "Lee, if Luna wants a war, she'll get one. I'll destroy her before she destroys this family." Her vow was chilling, a promise that the battle between aunt and niece had only just begun. Final shocks of the night. As the bash wound down into chaos, 3 shocking images lingered. Luna standing tall in the center of the room, finally recognized, her trick against Lee successful, but her aunt plotting vengeance in the shadows. Will collapsing into Bill's arms, poisoned by betrayal and manipulation, doomed by the path he'd chosen. The Spencer legacy on the brink of ruin, as that incriminating flash drive loomed like a sword over Bill's empire. Monday, August 18th, left no room for calm. The bash that began as a glittering celebration ended as a battlefield of betrayal, humiliation, and shattered illusions. And for the Forresters, Spencers, and Finnegans, the fallout was only beginning.